So their HQ is somewhere in Hong Kong, but details are well hidden?
That's what I've got so far. Sorry it's not more specific, but digging these guys up has been far from easy. At least in the local area I've got some detail.
Alright, let's hear it. Are you sure you want to take this on, Katie? This isn't really your fight, and aren't you worried that what we do now could have far-reaching global implications? Precisely what we're looking for, Catherine. What happens tomorrow and in the days that follow is very much in our hands. You went into politics so you could make a difference, right? Well, here's your chance. Don't lay this all on us, Katie. You make it sound like the future of the world is hanging in the balance here, and that we're the ones who are about to tip the scales.
She's not far wrong, Stace. I don't think you truly appreciate how powerful Ingenious has become, worming their way into almost every government, setting their own agenda and more or less engineering this moment. Global control and complete domination with a sufficiently hidden power structure that it could be almost impossible to undermine them.
But I'm not suggesting we're the only ones who can derail Ingenious, Stacy. Our focus right now has to be on clearing a path for you, Alistair and Catherine to go home without being in immediate fear for your lives. That said, if nothing is done to pull down this monster, they're going to do more than just depose a few political regimes. And Catherine, I don't believe that in your precarious circumstance you can prevent that without my help.
I agree with her, Kat. I mean, quite apart from the fact that we're out here in the middle of nowhere without any connections to the world. Very refreshing, by the way, if only we had different circumstances. Even with your political connections, all the data I've dug up for you so far has led us nowhere. What we need is some real dirt on these guys, and we're not going to find that by knocking on the front door of their base of operations, which is about the best we could have hoped for before Katie showed up.
Let's carry that thought just a little further, Alistair. If, and I mean if, so don't get your hopes up, if I was able to get you inside their central operations HQ, what would you need access to and for how long?
Their main servers, and they're bound to be highly secure, so it's going to take some serious time to get through the firewalls and corporate login protocols, if it's even possible. Plus, I'd either need a massive jump drive or access to a clear data connection off-site for a minimum of 10 minutes.
What do you think you could dig up that would put their operations under threat?
You mean if I could actually get in there and sift through the data? I'd say we start with evidence of government influence. I have a little piece of code already written that will root out any files that relate to financial transactions between Ingenious and most of the major governments. That should also pull out any files associated with the implanting of agents or the bribing of officials, anything that shows direct action aimed at manipulating or controlling power. That kind of data, passed on to the right news feeds, will create almost instant scandal.
And you really think that Ingenious won't shut the mouth of any news source that tries to put those facts before the public? I mean, that's what they do, Al. It's how they got so much power in the first place. I agree, Catherine, but with a careful distribution strategy that puts the truth out there from many sources at once, I think we can work around the Ingenious engine. Do you have connections in the news networks you could exploit? I know a few people, but mostly just local. Bullshit, Cat. You've raised eyebrows not just across the state, but across the country. Sound the alarm with your close contacts, and you know the National Service will be all over it, which in turn will take it global. That's what we need. Global coverage from as many different feeds as possible and as fast as possible. Catherine, how quickly could you put things into motion if I got you back on site at one of your local news network locations? They'd see me immediately. Well, as long as it's not so late in the evening that the senior staff team are all off duty. It's 8:15 already. I guess we need to move if we want this to have the desired impact. What do you mean we need to move? I'd like to take Alistair with me to Hong Kong. Can you and Catherine stay here while we see what we can dig out of the Ingenious servers? Listen, I know you think you're trying to help. No, wait, Stace. I understand all your concerns, but I trust Katie. And if anyone can give us even a chance at minimizing the damage here, I think it's her. Can you stay with me here until she at least tries? She's putting my fiancé in the line of fire, Cat. It's not as simple as just letting her go in and do her thing.
No, my fiery, unquenchable partner, no, it's not. But I don't think she can get what we need without my help. I have to go.
Then let me come too. I can't just sit here listening to the waves rolling in while you're risking your life.
Katie, what do you think? Can we all go?
Honestly, it's going to be hard enough with just you along, Alistair. Stacy, I know it's tough on you, but rest assured I'll do all in my power to keep him safe. And if I don't come back, it means you're both dead. Yeah, I get it. Katie, you take Al with you. Go now before I change my mind too. We'll manage here. I'm sorry about this, both of you. But we'll be back very soon, I promise. Alistair? Alistair, keep it quiet. We're in the back storage area of one of those big electronics markets. Somewhere we're not supposed to be, and where they'll be very upset to discover us. Do you think you can find what you need here to be able to tap into that database and store all the data you need?
My God, Katie, you certainly know how to show someone a wild time. It's like I've been ported directly into one of those sci-fi movies. Where exactly are we?
Does it matter? Your world, different location, gadgets galore. And I'm sorry to unbalance you. I understand what I do is pretty hard to swallow, even for someone with a tech nature. But we need to get this done, and the sooner you pick up the gear, the faster we can make it happen. So, take a look. See if you can find what you want.
Should be down the next aisle. Shit, looks like we've been spotted. Hey, what are you doing in here?
I'm on it.
Holy shit!
Sorry, my friend, but this is not an optional shopping trip. Taken care of. But you need to be quick, Alistair. Sooner or later, they'll activate an alarm.
That was amazing. You're really something else, you know that? But aren't they watching us even now on the camera security systems?
They might be if there was anyone at the station to watch. But I checked before we came in here. And we'll make sure the records are cleared before we leave, right?
Sure, I guess. Wait, this looks like the ticket. Nice compact unit. I can modify this to do the job. Maybe I'll take 2 just in case.
Do that. You sure it's good enough for the storage we'll need? You won't get a second chance at this.
Unless they have some very strange system, this should get us what we want. We really just going to walk out of here without paying?
Don't see much alternative. But first we need to clear a few video files from the records. Come with me. Here it is, Alistair. We want them to have no record of our being here at all. I'm assuming you know how to achieve that invisibly? Otherwise, I'll have to use a little more damaging methods.
I can't believe they just leave this station fully open and accessible. I suppose they simply don't expect anyone to be able to find it. Alright, this looks easy enough. Give me a minute. Done. We're clear.
Great. Glad not to have to blow things up again. So, now we're on our way to Hong Kong. Next stop, Ingenious. Be ready. I hate the idea of how much I'm changing this line by directly intervening. But I can't see a positive future for Catherine's existence, or that of her entire timeline if I don't do everything I can. Which right now involves zipping off around the world to track down this Ingenious HQ, while we still have a chance to derail their plans for the next 24 hours. And I need to stick with this until the new path is established, because this line is apparently moving faster than mine, or those of my other sister selves, and it truly has no time left. Alright, we have Hong Kong mid-morning. Now, I need to draw on all my sleuthing skills to track down an ingenious agent who can lead me... Wait. There's a strong aura here that I recognize from the basement of Catherine's civic building. Not the personal aura I'm after, but the sense of connection, linkage. Like a thread that leads from there back to here, where the orders likely originated. Yes, it's very faint, but I can still follow it. Through the downtown, out to the island. Here, right at the base of the mountain. There's something in here, but no obvious structure outside. Let's move through the ground into the base of the mountain and... Holy shit. It's like an underground city down here. A city beneath a city, with this one poised to assume control of the globe. Alright, we have a new, stronger scent now. Let's track this back to its source. Found you. Not the one in charge, maybe, but certainly in charge of a lot of it, by the looks of things. We can worry about destabilizing the internal hierarchy once we set our propaganda campaign in motion. First, though, I need to zero in on their data center. Not too sure how exactly to do that, except... Wait, this guy I've tracked down seems to have a strong thread leading in another direction. Let's follow that. See if perhaps the execution plan for tomorrow is tied into their main data center. Yes, this has to be it. Now all I need is to look over the shoulder of a few of these staff to see if I can recognize what they're doing. Pull in the required login data and security codes. This one. Press release. Their own propaganda campaign in the making. Ready for circulation once the shit hits the fan. Yes, she's scrolling through a list of all the simultaneous calamitous events that are scheduled for about the same time as Catherine's building explosion. History in the making. Or so they think. So, this is one link in the chain. The big reveal before it all goes down. Now, all I need is a way to dig into a more administrative database. Personnel, locations of operation centers, staff and their roles, linkages and connections to... There it is. What the world can never know. Who's connected to who's manipulating who, the whole works. Enough to totally blow this entire organization wide open if released in the right way. And to access it... Alright, I think I have it. Now all I need is a security center, where they're watching this room from. Should be easy enough if I follow the energy from this camera back here. 2 guards only. So I put Alistair in a safe place, come back here and take out the guards, the cameras in this room, and then bring him back to do the rest. Okay, this washroom stall is a good option. Let's drop him off, do my thing, and get back here so I can lead him to the enemy. Shh. Quiet while I close this stall door the rest of the way. I'm going to leave you here for a minute, Alistair. Don't go anywhere and don't panic. When I come back, we'll be doing 3 things in very short order. First, setting up recording loops on some security feeds, so there will be no visual record of us. Second, tapping into data on the propaganda around the plans for tomorrow. And third, pulling in as much data as you can from the ingenious personnel and connections database that'll tell the world their true agenda and who they're manipulating to make that happen. You alright with this?
What can I say? I'm about as ready as anyone could be in this situation. Which is to say I have no idea if I can do it. But I'll try my best.
Good enough. Then just stay put. I'll be right back.
Who the... Hands, what...
Sorry about this. Alright, room secure. Now let's get Alistair back here so he can cut the feeds on those cameras. Back again. Ready to go?
Really? You only just left?
I'm efficient, and we can't afford to waste time. Come on. Alright, Alistair. This is your first job. These stations monitor this room. Erase our presence. We were never here, which means nobody knows why those 2 security guys are unconscious on the floor. If they remember anything, it'll just be a vague blur. Then we need you to find all feeds coming from the data center and put the recording systems on a closed loop, so they record nothing out of the ordinary while we're in there. Oh, and wear these gloves. Prints can be so annoying sometimes.
You really are good at this, aren't you?
What I do, or did before all my new skills. A bit of infiltration, data gathering, below the radar type stuff. Now with my new toolbox, just that much easier to pull off.
You said it. Alright, this room's clean. Now, the data center. Is this it?
The very one. Can you loop every camera in the place?
Give me a few seconds. There's security on this. How are they confirming ID?
Not sure. Let's check the guards. How about ID badge?
No good. Probably embedded. Try a wrist. Alright, that's it. It'll probably be the same in the data center.
Fine, we can handle that. Are you good?
All set. What now?
Wait for me. I'll be back.
No.
One down. Was it? That's 2. Now the other 2 nearby. You'll be...
Hey, what? Oh, no.
Tough one, aren't you? Okay, time for Alistair to do his thing. Alistair, they're waiting for you downstairs.
Let's not leave them hanging then.
The first station, propaganda. And if you need to bypass security, the guy on the floor there is your ticket.
Alright, the connection works. Strangely, no secondary security. I'll need to look into that later. Let's see, this looks like, yes, subfolder for press releases. Let's back out a couple of levels. Okay, this looks promising. What would you say to an overall directory called Campaign of Terror?
Sounds like ingenious stuff to me. Take it.
In process. How about a folder called Phase 2?
If Phase 1 is what I think it is, then by all means.
Alright, give it a few moments. There's a lot here. Okay, I have it. What's next?
Follow me and stick close. There are still some staff in the area. We can't afford to be spotted.
Right with you. Can I ask you something, Katie?
Of course, but don't expect much detail, Alistair. One thing I've learned in this journey, the less people know, the less trouble they can get into. Or that they can cause me.
Alright, I'll make it very general. Do you know, back where you come from, someone like me, the geeky technical type with the personality of a mop?
I wouldn't quite describe you like that, but yes, of course. My line's much closer to yours than I'd prefer, which means a lot of similarities. And a good share of differences as well.
I thought as much. You seem to be comfortable just leading me to a computer and expecting everything to simply happen. I guess your friend from the other timeline takes it all in stride.
He does, and he's used to it. Sorry if I've been a bit demanding, but we don't really have the luxury of finesse, I'm afraid. Good enough?
Tell your friend when you see him, from one geek to another. He's a good man.
I'll be sure to do that. Now, this station's your second data pool, Alistair. I saw how the operator got into the system. Let me open this for you.
Good. Now get her wrist up here and we'll open up full access. Now we're talking. I'm going to pull off everything. It'll take a minute.
A minute, no more. Because that's all we have. I have this feeling that... Kit, oh God, are you there? Katja, what's wrong? Kit, everything has happened like you said, only not... Kat, it's... Natalia's dead, Kat. She's dead. No. What do you mean she's dead? It's only been, an hour or less since we talked. How could she be? It's all over the news nets, Kit. Her face, her crumpled body lying there on the street. Done up to make it look like an overdose or something. They murdered her, Kat. To keep her quiet. My friend, our friend, is gone. How could I let this happen? Oh, Katja, I'm so sorry. I'll be there, I promise. But you need to be safe. Step into the light, now. If they've done this to Natalia, they'll come after you too. But I'm still at the office, like you suggested. So what about Tessa and Alexei? They'll be under this too, if I am. You have to help us, Kit. I can't wait any longer. 5 minutes, Katja. I'll pick them up and join you at the office. Now please step into the light. I couldn't bear it if anything would have happened to you. Then it's too late for Natalia, really, isn't it? She's the sacrificial lamb. We need to make her sacrifice mean something, Kat. Will you help us do that? We'll do what has to be done, Katja. They'll pay for this. But first, let's get you safe. I'll see you soon. Please, hurry.
Katie, are you alright?
No, not really. But, no, I'm sorry. It's not something I can explain. How are you doing?
It's done. We have it all.
Then let's go. We need to get all of you to a place where this data can be distributed. And we need to do it now.